Growing up, I was always fascinated by the world of combat and action. I gravitated towards sports like boxing, MMA, BJJ, and wrestling. Action movies and fight scenes included the likes of Ip Man, Ong Bak, Fist of Legend, Blood and Bone, Kung Fu Panda, and Rush Hour.
$10 million? And who you think you kidnapped, Chelsea Clinton?
There were many figures that impacted the world of combat around them. Icons of the scene were Jet Li, Michael J. White, Tony Jaa, Jackie Chan, and so many others. But out of all of them, one man is considered a true legend in a class of his own.
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know I'm lying.
For this video, I want to take a closer look into the life, story, and impact of Bruce Lee. Bruce was born just like any other regular human. A diploid number of 46 chromosomes in total, XY as he was a male, and strands of DNA packaged into complexes with RNAs and proteins. Might as well put my bio degree to use here. Nonetheless, Bruce was born both at the hour and year of the dragon in November of 1940 in San Francisco, California. His family would return to Hong Kong when Bruce was just 4 months old. There, he'd enter the world of cinema at a young age, and by age 18, he already made appearances in 20 different films. He was a natural in his roles, but as he was growing up, Bruce faced hardships. Post-World War II Hong Kong was flooded with gangs, and this led to Bruce being involved in street fights. He would fight classmates, and after an altercation with a triad family member, Bruce's parents urged him to learn how to fight. This, of course, opened the gateway to the world of martial arts. Bruce would first be instructed by Ip Man. He would learn the art of Wing Chun, which involves the idea of efficient power use and is more of a set of guidelines and principles on how to fight. Ideas like using your opponent's strength against him and using the speed and mass of your body. Now I get it. The art of Bullshido and all these over-the-top fake masters preaching false techniques.
She's gonna show you. Oh, she's gonna show you. Boy, how's he alive?
The field has been saturated, and although there's false advertisements, Wing Chun can be a powerful art when combined with other forms. Tony Ferguson is a great example, where the art of Wing Chun is used in an actual fight.
Going like, holy shit, he just used Wing Chun inside the cage, like it works.
However, as Bruce Lee evolved more in terms of fighting knowledge, as did his altercations in school. In one instance, Bruce broke someone's tooth and arm after getting sucker punched by them. This went against the teachings of Ip Man, as he encouraged students to fight in competitions rather than in the streets. His parents got scared of the path Bruce seemed to be going down and shipped him off to the United States. Bruce would end up in Seattle, Washington and major in philosophy. From there, he began to combine what he learned in school with the art of Wing Chun. He'd even teach other students his martial arts, literally coined as Bruce Lee's Kung Fu. The form was so popular, Bruce opened up a martial arts school called Lee Jun Fan Kung Fu Institute.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
And then a second one in Oakland's Chinatown. However, the Chinese community weren't too fond of what Bruce was doing. During those times, it was seen as wrong to teach these arts to non-Chinese people. Bruce had even faced this discrimination in the past. The Chinese community challenged Bruce to a 1v1 against Wong Jackman. If he lost, Bruce would close down his school, but if he won, he was free to teach anyone. But they challenged the wrong motherfucker. Let me just go ahead and say, this man's life is straight out of a movie. Bruce would beat Wong in a whopping 3 minutes and make him verbally quit. Wong would go on to deny the story and say that the fight was 20 minutes and that he was not discriminating. True or not, you can decide. Bruce being Bruce, he was disappointed that the fight took so long in the form of 3 minutes. He believed it should have been seconds. So in an effort to figure out what went wrong, Lee went back to the drawing board. He'd begin with an approach of a style, of no style. Bruce wanted to combine certain aspects of the different arts rather than have restrictions. He'd begin with physical fitness with elements of muscular strength, muscular endurance, cardiovascular endurance, and flexibility. Bruce began weight training, running, and stretching. He would set daily goals such as 3,000 punches, 1,000 kicks, and a mile run. He even switched up his diet and took his nutrition seriously. He wanted to see what the human body was capable of. He didn't want martial arts to have restrictions or parameters. Lee's new form was coined Jeet Kune Do. His aim was to grab the best pieces from different arts such as boxing, grappling, Wing Chun, and mold them into an all-encompassing way of life. The man was truly ahead of his time. Lee even used the oblique kick, which would be made popular years and years later after his death in MMA. John Jones is a great example in which Bruce's oblique kick is used in actual combat. Bruce blasted into stardom through the avenue of acting. Specifically, Bruce's role in the Green Hornet really began to make his name well known. He was a master at showcasing the flashy parts of martial arts. He was quick on film, like literally. They had to slow cameras down to catch his movements. Bruce would become a Hollywood martial arts coach and even instructed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Speak English!
One of the biggest hits was his well-known The Way of the Dragon. I mean, come on. Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris, this was something people in the States had never seen before. Bruce became an icon. With him, martial arts rose in popularity. Bruce was more than just an actor or martial artist. He was a philosopher that was particularly good at absorbing and combining information. He adapted many forms of martial arts into a way of life, taking certain aspects from different forms to produce a disciplined lifestyle. I believe that Lee was in a way the founding father of MMA. He knew that one art was not enough in a street fight. Today, people will say that boxing is the best or jiu-jitsu is a must. Now I do agree that wrestling is the best base, but in the end, you need a combination of all arts, which is the ideal that Lee pioneered. He'd unfortunately pass at the age of 32, said to be from an allergic reaction to medication. Although there is a lot of controversy around his death, you can decide that. Nonetheless, he truly is a pioneer in making what MMA is today. Companies like ONE FC and the UFC all have roots in what Bruce Lee did in a sadly shortcut, significant light.
I think the sport of mixed martial arts was started by Bruce Lee.
He's the man. Bruce Lee's the reason why most of these guys are in mixed martial arts.
No one's going to be like Bruce Lee, no matter how much you study or how much you know, how much you strive to be that type of person. He's just a truly extraordinary, one-of-a-kind individual.
Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
In the dictionary, you say greatest, you say Bruce Lee. That's the way it is. He was second to none. He stood out from the rest.
I used to have so much respect for his philosophy. His philosophy is like the ultimate warrior philosophy.
The baddest dude in the world.
You ask any fighter out there growing up who their inspiration was, everybody says Bruce Lee.
To express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself. And to express myself honestly, that, my friend, is very hard to do. And you have to train. You have to keep your reflexes so that when you want it, it's there.
He speaks is the true essence of martial arts. So
no doubt he would have been world champion in MMA, no doubt.
I do not believe in styles anymore. Everything. Suppose, you just keep it moving. You see, the idea is running water never grows stale. So you got to just keep on flowing.